conference towards global EU action against trafficking in human beings was held in Brussels to coincide with the 3rd annual EU Anti-Trafficking Day. During Sweden's presidency of the EU is increasing efforts to combat trafficking in human beings, improve and increase cooperation with countries of origin for trafficking in human beings, and with countries through which this trafficking passes.
There is a mutual dependence between us in order to efficiently fight and prevent trafficking in human beings. We have to work together and we need to step up our efforts. Trafficking of human beings is a part of organized crime today. It's a part of the change we see through globalization. It's the bad side of it. And we have to find new ways to prevent and to protect people from that kind of criminality.
During the past decade, Sweden has taken important and exemplary legal and preventive measures within the field of prostitution and human trafficking. For example, criminalizing the sex buyers, supporting the victims, raising public awareness and raising standards, and achieving greater efficiency in the law enforcement and justice systems.
I'm happy that there are so many people who are working with this question. There are so many NGOs, and that we are more and more talking about it. For 15 years, nobody dared to pick up that issue because it was a taboo.
We do have reports too that some traffickers think that Sweden is not a good place to do business in, so they avoid Sweden or use it only as a transit country. And that might be so due to the fact that we have that law forbidding people to buy sex.
Trafficking in human beings, whether for sexual exploitation or labour, is a violation of basic human rights, a violation of individuals' human dignity and a barrier to social and gender equality. It is a major and growing problem on a global scale that affects vulnerable groups such as women and children in particular. To protect these groups and prevent and combat human trafficking, the EU aims to strengthen cooperation and coordination between the police and judicial authorities of the member states, as well as to strengthen international cooperation.
The Stockholm programme aims towards establishing a new 5-year programme for the European Union in the field of justice and home affairs. It's quite natural that we, within this programme, will take a new course for the European Union when trying to combat this. It's about coordination, it's about cooperation within the Union, and also to acknowledge that many of these problems originate from outside of the European Union, which calls for a new way of looking into crime fighting and realizing that without better cooperation over the borders of the European Union and countries who lie outside of the Union, we are not going to get anywhere.
Every country of the world is affected by this modern-day slavery, human trafficking. You are either a destination country in which you're receiving problems, or you are a transit country or source country. And that's why we have to come together and in partnership and build that partnership that will work to ensure that we address the root causes of trafficking.
The conference was attended by representatives of international organisations, EU institutions, Russia and neighbouring countries along the EU's eastern border, the countries of the Western Balkans, the USA and Canada.
The European Union has an impressive track record of devising innovative migration solutions. This counter-trafficking initiative of the Swedish presidency is just yet another opportunity to examine closely how the EU's commendable mobility partnerships might be targeted specifically at reducing human trafficking.
It is important that we recognize that the demand for sex with minors is a very strong driving force behind this global problem and therefore needs to be addressed urgently. And to deny, to turn a blind eye, or to passively observe is a contribution to the continuous contemporary slave trade that is manifested by trafficking of human beings.